Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. It's Teresa here today with a layout for Kellybell Designs. I'm working with the Passport to France collection, documenting part of our day at Epcot at the World Showcase, and particularly in France. I love this area of the World Showcase, simply for the architecture and a couple of the other features around. There are some great restaurants here in this area too. We just spent a little bit of time in this area on that day. This was back in 2019. And so today I'm doing a hybrid pocket page and sharing that with you. Here you can see some of the 6x4 journal cards that I've created. These were created using two of the patterned papers in the collection, and then some of the ribbons. You can see, and I'll talk more about how I've accommodated some of my journaling. And then, of course, the layering pieces around the top that are waiting to be added. For the 3x4 pockets, I have a balance of photos and journal cards and filler cards. And so you can see these, and then of course you can also see the other photos that I've printed out from this area of the park. And so the one thing I want you to think about today is finding space for journaling when you don't necessarily have journal labels, and how to accommodate journal space for that. Because I actually found a couple of really nice ways to do that. And one thing I specifically wanted to point out is that the red, white, and blue color story of this collection is very bold, right? They're very rich and beautiful and powerful colors. And if you apply all of these colors in all of the ways in all of the journal cards, or filler cards or title cards, in all of the pockets, it's going to get to be a bit overwhelming. And so one way that I toned that down was using the blue pattern paper for 3 of the cards. And so that was very, very intentional. And I think you can see how that creates a more soothing background overall for the layout. Here, before I jump into the full process, I'm going to place the major elements onto these journal cards, just so I sort of quickly remember where they go, because I have already planned this out in Photoshop and printed everything from there, the journal cards specifically, and then the elements and the page starters were brought into the silhouette and printed and cut from there. So for the title card, of course, I want to quickly call attention to where we are in the park at Epcot World Showcase, of course. And this is already located in our family Disney album for 2019. So it's sandwiched in between Germany and meeting Minnie Mouse. So you already kind of have an idea just in the context of the layout. But I still want it to be, and I think it is really clear here, what area we're in. And so I've used one of the word art pieces here. And one of the cool things about these word art pieces and the page starters is that oftentimes they're created with elements that are already in the collection. And in this instance, the alphabets are a part of the collection. And so I've printed the word Epcot separate from the word art itself in order to add another layer on top of the word art itself. And so the word Epcot will pop up a little bit here on top of itself and create a nice little bit of dimension there. I also added these floral clusters that I created with floral elements in the collection and just turned up those little leaves a little bit. And again, another way to add depth and dimension to those cards. This is one of my favorite photos from our entire trip that year. Just for the great little area that this is in the park. I journaled this as well, that whenever I'm here in this area, I always feel like the townspeople and Belle and Gaston and LeFou are going to come out and sing and dance for us. Because it just feels awesome being in that area. Can you tell? I really like France. I really love Germany. Those are just two of my favorites. So at any rate, I kept the embellishments very simple though on those two photos, which you can see. One of the ways that I added journaling on this side is the little Mickey ear pocket that I added a little bit of white pattern paper to the bottom of that embellishment and added my journaling and cut that out as one piece. Boom. Excellent spot for journaling right there on the photo. I also journaled in the 3x4 journal card. Very easy peasy there. And then you can see the journaling on this card where I've added it in the sort of negative space. And then I'm layering the frame, and this is another page starter in the collection. So I have my photo behind the frame, and then the frame and the page starter itself, and then the floral element and the flare. I've printed out separately and added those. Again, for the depth and dimension. Hybrid scrapbooking for me, I harp on this every week. For me, it's about adding that depth and dimension and being able to cut and paste and glue and have the tactile experience of paper crafting. The first 6x4 pocket here is another pocket here layered on top of two of the ribbons, and I kept that very simple, just kind of as a marker pocket here for the second page. And again, on the actual photos, keeping the embellishments minimal. You'll notice that I did add that gold foil kind of element to the photo before printing it. I love that building. It's a little shopping area inside there, and the photos on the opposite side are from that little shopping area. It's just a gorgeous building. So I just added a flare and the little paint palette on top of that. And then for this photo, a flare and the little hat, the little black cap. And then this is kind of the closing out card for the layout. And again, using one of the page starters. And I've added just a little simple, very simple line of journaling here. Notice how I'm using white ink to contrast against the blue background. I love that. I love how it's just a simple little sentence saying that I'm already ready to go back. I'm always ready to go back. And that's just a perfect way to end this layout. There is another journal card with the banner, the Jetador banner there, where you can see the words underneath that. That's just the white pattern paper and a ribbon and the banner added to it. That's all for today. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope to see you back again real soon. Bye-bye.